Alright, for the Propitiation Sculpture, I've still got to carve out the hands. I'm going to start on that in another video. But anyhow, I've only got one drawn out. And so I need to make another. And I'm going to make two more just in case one fails. So I think it's obvious that you can get the gist that I like to be prepared in case something does fail or go awry, that I'll have a backup. And anyhow, so this is 18 inches, and from the tip of the fingers to the wrist I need about 8 inches, so this will be good enough for two, supposedly. And I just got to pick which side to draw this on. All I'm going to do is trace out my hand and then lift out my hand and then go back through and detail it a little bit. So, man, it's a hot day. I've got sweat in my eyes, and that is the worst place to have sweat. Okay, let's see. This one. So I need the hand to sit somewhat flush on the back side, so having the fingers kind of out like that, but I also want to have some dimension to it, so maybe curl up my fingers slightly, and I can draw them out flat and then carve it curved. That doesn't matter, but my thumb placement does matter, and I kind of think that having my thumb just slightly in line with my index here is going to be the best, you know. And I've only got a little over 1.5 inches to work with here, so obviously it's not like I can carve it too amazing. I'm surprised how gummy this glue is. It's completely dry. I think it's just the heat that's caused it to be gummy. Anyhow, back to work. Enough getting distracted. See, and I don't want to spend forever sketching out my hand, so I'm just going straight back to preschool here. Just very simply marking it out, tracing it wise. Gotta make sure that the tracing is aligned with my hand. Come back through, add the little finger things there. What I'm calling a finger thing is that fold right there where I'm able to curl my knuckle, you know, so not like it matters for the video's sake, but I like to be precise. Okay, good. I just cut myself in the last video moving those beams around, and it's hurting because sweat's getting into it now. Okay, and now the other side. So this, I'm thinking this might be the final product ones, and then this one will be like a backup just in case. So, or maybe I'm going to draw these somewhat similar to each other, but this one's not going to be similar. Well, obviously it's still a hand, but like my thumb's out on this one, you know, and maybe when I get all three of them done, I'll be like, well, actually maybe I want to mix it up. Have one hand slightly out, well, the thumb slightly out, and one in like this. So. The lead keeps breaking over the coarse surface of the wood. I drew that backwards. Do the same thing over here too. So I've kind of debated doing this, whether I should just make it an even cut, or if I should make it jagged, because Christ's flesh was torn for us, and when you think of a tear, you don't really think of a nice, even cut. You think of, like, tearing, like tearing a piece of paper, you know? Both sides aren't going to be even, and I kind of want to add some of that into this, but I don't know, like, I don't want it to be gory, you know. I don't want to be like muscles and tendons are showing, you know. Well, for one, that didn't happen, so, like, the tearing of the flesh was in the nail going through the hand, and likely through the wrist too. But I made sure to go back and read in Luke, and it says, like, when Christ is resurrected and he's visiting with the disciples again, he tells Thomas to put his finger into his hands. He doesn't say put your finger into my wrist, you know. So based on that, I'm just going to put the nail in the hand. And, like, obviously historians have debated back and forth for millennia now, that there would have had to have been a second nail, because this nail would have torn through the hand and he would have fallen from the cross. Some depictions show him with a rope around his wrist holding him to the cross and the nail in the hand. And I don't really have an opinion on it. All I'm saying is that there was definitely a nail in his hand, and so I'm only putting the nail there. And I'm drawing on this, and I realize that none of this drawing is going to really matter, because as I carve, it's all going to disappear. But it's just a good thing to have in mind as I'm working on it, that what it will hopefully end up looking like. And hopefully by the finished product I figure out how to carve a thumb, because me drawing these thumbs, they look terrible. So maybe that's why I'm not making it as skinny as it needs to be. Also, it like, I'm uneven, so like I'm double jointed in this side right here, but I don't have that double joint right here. So like that's obviously going to show somewhat in the difference between the hands if I carved them completely anatomically correct to my own hands. But I'm going to take some artistic liberty here and just make them generally hands, hand-shaped, hand-figured, man-handled. That looks goofy. I used to draw my own hands all the time, and it's kind of sad that I am really struggling at drawing this thumb out, because I used to have a lot of practice at it. Now I'm just going through and I'm darkening the outer lines, because I've got a cut along those lines and I want it to be precise. Alright, that's it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to be cutting them out. The reason why I'm making a series of short videos is because it takes a very long time for me to upload a video over 15 minutes to YouTube. It takes like a half hour for 1 gigabyte to upload, at least. And 1 gigabyte is 10 minutes at least. So there's that. Obviously this is the Propitiation Sculpture. I just feel like I need to continue repeating that, just in case someone goes through the videos. Also, it helps me because before I upload it to YouTube, I I watch the video and see what it's about so that I can adjust the title. So, like, all of the Propitiation Sculpture ones will say Propitiation Sculpture and whatever I'm working on in that video. So this one will be Propitiation Sculpture, drawing out the hands, or something like that. Something along those lines. That's it for now. Thanks for looking. God bless.